Okay, we'll share with you the answers to the daily question test. So we'll go in, and again, you can check your work. Death Valley is located in what state? California. Death Valley is very low and thus gets very hot. It's the hottest place in the country many times. So, two countries on the continent of Australia. Now, many people often forget. They think of Australia as a country and a continent, and that's about it. But there's actually other parts of the world that are included in Australia. In fact, others have started calling it Oceania. Obviously, the country of Australia, New Zealand. One of the next largest one is an island nation called Papua New Guinea. And then there are a number of other smaller countries. The only one answer I saw a lot here that was not right was Tasmania. Tasmania is actually an island that belongs to Australia, so it's not its own separate country. But there's another number of other countries, part of Oceania, that stretch out across the Pacific Ocean. But these were the most common. All right. Name a country where the majority of people practice Islam. To kind of help you see that, I brought up this map and want me to slide. Well, actually, I don't have to slide it over because the part you can see is the part I wanted to focus on. Is Islam is popular, as you can see, in much of northern Africa and the Middle East. And the darker the green, the more popular the religion is. Now, a number of you had Indonesia as your answer. Because that is where the most Muslims live. Indonesia has a lot of people. So, but these other areas, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, much of these Middle Eastern countries, Northern African countries, there were a number of correct answers on that one. Okay? So I'm not even going to bother trying to write all of them down. For number 94, the country that has Judaism today, Israel. And that you should have known either by doing your daily question or completing your Judaism questions. And actually that is the only place in the world where Jews are the majority. Okay. 3 states on the Gulf of Mexico. You could have Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, or Florida. And you needed to have 3 of any of those. The only U.S. president to serve more than 2 terms is Franklin Roosevelt. The 2-term rule was never actually in the Constitution. It was always followed because that's what George Washington had done, and people felt like if he wasn't good enough to serve more than 2, nobody was. Franklin Roosevelt got caught in kind of a strange situation. He led the United States out of the Great Depression. And at the time of running for his 3rd term, it was right about the time where World War II had started in Europe and not in the United States. And many felt that we should keep steady leadership through that time. And that was part of what caused him to run for his 3rd term. He actually won that one in a fairly close race. And then he won a 4th term in 1944. By a lot. By that point, the U.S. was winning the war, and people wanted to have him see that out, although he only lived for less than a year before he died. But he is the only one to serve more than 2 terms. What European country colonized and controlled Vietnam before the United States got involved in a war? It all started when that was a colony of France. And actually... that's where the United States first kind of got involved. Actually, way longer story than I can tell on this video. Which U.S. state has the highest population density? That is actually the state of New Jersey. Now, density means people per square mile, so you need a lot of people in a small space. And much of New Jersey is really just an extension of New York City, Philadelphia, a couple of the other major cities there, so the state is very heavily populated. U.S. states that are bordered by at least 7 others. There are a couple. Missouri actually is bordered by 8, as is Tennessee. Kentucky has 7, and Colorado has 7. So there were a couple people who said Wyoming. Wyoming only has 6. I'm not sure where that answer came from. And lastly, the Indus River civilization, one of the ancient civilizations we didn't talk about, is in the Indus River Valley. And the Indus River primarily flows through Pakistan, so that's one of the answers. But it does, where they settled, does go into the neighboring Afghanistan and India as well. So you could have any 2 of the 3 answers to that one. All right, so there are your DQ answers for 91 through 100.